So, Tobin, you were mentioning the rumblings.
Rumblings.
And apparently, the Heat are expected to have interest in Denver's Jerami Grant if he opts out of his deal with the Nuggets.
Interesting.
He is expected to opt out of his $9.3 million player option, but if it would be a coup if Miami could get him with his $9.3 million mid-level exception.
I think it's a coup, Robbie. I don't think it's a Koopa-Loop.
Damage is done.
Damage is done, my friend.
Damage is done, my friend.
Hey, Robbie, you just showed blatant disregard for the English language.
That's overrated.
The only thing I'd say with Jerami Grant, and that's cool and all, but I would just say the only thing I would find surprising about that is he's 26. If he's opting out of a $9 million contract, he probably expects a pretty fat deal. I don't feel like the Heat are going to get into that kind of I don't know, that kind of bidding war. So I don't know, but it's cool. He had a good playoffs.
I'm proud of you.
So discipline.
No, this is the first time in a while that Tobin hasn't just made the assumption that somebody's going to come play for the Heat for cheap.
It just doesn't make sense.
No.
Like,
let's be clear. This is the first time you've done that.
It just doesn't make sense. Now, I did see yesterday Serge Ibaka was craving some Cuban food, and that piqued my interest a little bit.
Yeah, but he's 42, man. Come on.
I don't care. He's a good player.
You gonna hang out with UD?
Oh.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
-1.
Oh, I caught him off guard. Him off guard. He had to look for it.
Wow. You are a real bastard. You know that?
No, I'm not.
You're a real bastard.
Wait.
He had a good year last. He had a great year last year.
Serge Ibaka and UD went to high school together.
Bro, stop it.
-1.
I'm going to ask you right now, cease and desist.
What?
Knock it off. Knock it off. Serge Ibaka, though, you want some good Cuban food, Serge, and I know you like to do that cooking with Ibaka, whatever the hell that thing's called.
Right.
You want some good Cuban food down here. You want to have a part of a special. Maybe you want to cook for Jimmy Butler.
Oh,
show him what you got. That I thought was interesting.
All right.
Let's get sassy. You know what I'm saying, Leroy? Now, what were these bogus rumors you were trying to throw my way? You tried to scare me during the break.
I saw on Twitter.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm already skeptical because you barely know how to use Twitter.
Wait, hey, I'm telling you right now.
You barely.
It was
know.
right below when they dressed up. Ice Cube like Trump.
Oh my gosh. This is where you're going to.
Yeah. Wait, I'm gonna find it. Keep going as you
All
were.
right. Okay.
Well,
okay.
since we're on the subject of rumblings, we'll keep rumbling. And that, according to Brian Windhorst on his Hoop Collective podcast, Oladipo, who's talking about Victor, has been very connected to Miami for months now. My feel is that Miami has their eye on bigger fish. I'm not sure that the interest from Miami is. I'm not sure that their interest from Miami is as high as the interest from Oladipo.
No, he's spot on that. Like, not to give props to Windhorst, but like this Victor Oladipo. First of all, I'm not quite sure that he didn't tank in that Pacers series with how hard he was flirting with the Miami Heat. It was ridiculous. He was like stepping over his own teammates to help up Jimmy Butler. He was patting him on the ass. He was doing big handshakes and hugs. The eyes that he was given to Bam Adebayo. This guy wants to be on the Heat so bad, like more than Crazy Andy. I'm not sure you couldn't sign Victor Oladipo for the minimum. Like he wants to be on the Heat that bad.
What?
That dude wants to be on Leroy. He wants to be in Miami so bad.
All right.
Like if you want to tell me the one guy I think that he could maybe sway into a discount, you give him get Riley in the room with Victor Oladipo and see what happens. Look, he's got 1 year left on his deal. There's some talks I saw yesterday. Zach Lowe was talking about Victor Oladipo possibly going. Do you have this Zach Lowe, Robbie, on Victor Oladipo and one possible place he might end up? Because the thought I think right now is he is a bit of damaged goods. Like he's on the rebound. He isn't quite his all NBA self, and that you wouldn't necessarily give up top assets for him. But that doesn't necessarily mean that elite teams aren't going to want him.
Look, we can talk about Oladipo now too. Like,
I don't even know how you trade for Victor Oladipo right now. That's not to say I wouldn't think about trading for him. I don't know how you value him after what we've seen
last
since
year of his
injury.
contract. Yeah, and coming off the injury.
Yeah, and he's coming up for a new deal. I just don't know how I'm supposed to think about him, and I'm certainly not giving up my best trade assets to get him right now, given that he was already not playing at the same All NBA level before he had what is a very traumatic injury. And then last year, I think, in fairness to Victor, you just have to throw in the dustbin of history because he had just come back, then the season stopped, and he's off for 4 months. Then he tries to come back again. Like, I'm not sure how much you can read into that, but I'm not backing up the Brinks truck for Victor Oladipo. I'll give you a team I'm keeping an eye on with Victor Oladipo. You ready?
Yeah.
Milwaukee.
Oh.
Just keeping my eye on him. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say. Keep my eye on him.
And then you're going to say Boston, Sackler. You say Richard Tice for him. Victor Oladipo, Tice. Maybe Gordon Hayward. You got trade. And then you got Victor Oladipo, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Kemba.
Here.
Grab him by the
Terry
neck.
Foster. Is he reputable?
Who?
Terry Foster.
Terry Foster.
He's related to Scott.
141,000 followers.
Terry Foster. Okay.
I mean, his brother's
is-
a cooker. His brother's a cooker referee. I mean,
Yeah.
I've
what
heard
is-
trade rumors that would bring Bam Adebayo from the Miami Heat to the Pistons. The other one would bring Kyle Kuzma from the Lakers.
But what is the rumors?
I don't know. That's what I just told you. I read it.
All right. So is it this Terry Foster? Are you reading that now? Now, mind you, this is a rumor for the website Piston Powered. This is what you want. This is what you want me to buy into. So so in your scenario, you have what, Blake Griffin coming to the Heat for Bam?
No, all I said was
Okay. No.
I read
Hold
something.
Hold on. No. I just want you to know who you're buying into. Okay. This is the website Piston Powered. Okay.
That's what it is.
Do you want to know this trade website? By the way, this is Heat get Shaq for Doliak. Okay, this is what this website is. Do you want to hear their proposed trade?
Where's the?
Do you want to hear their
Terry Foster tweet? I don't see anything from.
Do you want to hear their
power?
First of all, it's not a rumor. It's just them throwing stuff up against the wall.
Oh.
Do you want to hear their proposed trade?
No.
Tell me what you think about it. Tell me what you think.
Sure.
The Heat get Blake Griffin in exchange for Kelly Olynyk, Andre Iguodala, all right, and Bam.
what?
What?
And Bam. That's your trade rumor?
That sounds like trade. Somebody put that in a trade machine, and it works.
It works. Success. I need to keep an eye on you. Okay, this is why I got to keep an eye on you on these Twitter streets.
What?
Oh, Terry Foster. He seems reputable.
I just looked at it. How does he have so many? How does he have so many followers but doesn't have a blue check mark?
Well, you didn't have the
I don't
blue check
know.
mark for the longest time.
All right.
Bam Adebayo, Kelly Olynyk.
Kelly Olynyk. Would you like to trade one of the most valuable guys in the NBA for one of the worst contracts in the NBA? Your thoughts, Pat? I'm going to have to think about it. Let me get back to you there, Detroit. Why are you scaring me like that?
Listen. I just said I thought I saw something on Twitter. I didn't say ooh. I didn't like. You just said I read it.
That's like the equivalent of the Heat Bros back in the day, like McRoberts and a second round pick for Giannis.
Nick Roberts.
That was the go-to
Don't you,
move.
in order to be in a trade, don't you have to
Doliak,
play
bro.
basketball?
Dude, they're gonna have to they would have to kidnap one of Pat Riley's puppies to even get them on the trade deal, and I still think Pat Riley says keep the dog.
No.
Terry Foster, you want to get Terry Foster on the show?
Clickbait.
Clickbait. Well, I just think it's adorbs where he goes. Somebody. So I'm like looking through this Terry Foster's timeline, which first of all, I mean his Bam Adebayo Pistons rumor tweet got ratioed like crazy. I mean, people were just hammering him. And then people are like, well, what do you think that the Pistons would give back? He goes, oh, Blake Griffin. I wouldn't do it if I was the Heat, but I'm just saying. Well, what are you doing there, Terry?
Hey.
Terry.
Somebody said Terry Foster sounds like the Tobin in Detroit, trying to rumor it into fruition.
I don't make up bull bleep, though. I follow tea leaves.
But wait, So the separation, here's what separates you from Terry Foster. He's making it up, and you're reading tea leaves.
Yeah, it's a huge difference, though. It's a huge difference in following the tea leaves, the signs, the steps, than just throwing things out there willy-nilly. You know? Like, what he's basically doing is, I'm hearing Steph Curry to the Heat rumors. Oh, who would they get back? They get back Andre Iguodala. Samesies.
Hey. Were you reading the tea leaves when you said we dodged the bullet with Jimmy Butler?
I was reading the tea leaves, but they were fake tea leaves. It was fake news.
Oh, okay. So what's the difference? Same boat.
Well, that wasn't my rumor. That I was reading a report by ESPN.
I read the Terry Foster rumor.
Who is Terry Foster?
I don't know. Got 141,000.
Who does he work for? Who has he worked for?
I don't know. It doesn't say it in his thing.
He used to work for a radio station in Detroit. He was on the ticket, whatever it was in Detroit.
So he was on Detroit sports radio.
Yes.
Yeah.
He co-hosted Valenti and Foster on the ticket in Detroit.
That's not two brothers, I take it. You know who is, how about this? I remember when I was in college going to the studio, right? And getting interviewed by Mitch Albom.
Oh, really?
Right? And then
Tuesdays morning.
Guess who was in the studio at the same time? The head coach for the Red Wings. And we sat in the green room looking at each other because he didn't know who I was, and I sure as hell didn't know who he was.
Wow, two legends. I had no idea. There were things, speaking of tea leaves, there was this. So ESPN is reporting that Milwaukee will not look to trade Giannis Antetokounmpo if he passes on the extension. Instead, the Bucks are going to try and improve their roster and use the next year to show Antetokounmpo why he should stay. So they're going to ride it till the wheels fall off, Leroy. It's going to be an unfortunate thing for them.
Here's what happens. You ready? They're going to do that, right? He's going to leave anyway, and everybody's going to hate Giannis in Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the problem. What do they think is enough? Because first of all, you're going to have to convince somebody who wouldn't normally come to Milwaukee to go to Milwaukee. And what are you selling?
I think the selling.
Are you selling Giannis? Now I make you say I'm going to make you a second tier player. I'm not going to make you a superstar. I'm going to make you that next level down, right? The guy who's going to be a major contributor, but not he'll be considered the third guy, right? Who are you convincing to come to Milwaukee?
They would have
Giannis a big enough draw?
They would have to. First of all, I think in this scenario, they would have to go trade for somebody, and that, right. I guess, and I would say the attraction for somebody to saying, like, let's say, like Zach Lowe says, they were to trade for Victor Oladipo. That was their Hail Mary. I think the attraction is, well, if you join us, you're going to actually do some winning and be part of that Giannis, Middleton, and then you're like the three-headed snake there. And that's what they're going to try and go win the East with.
Well,
now, if you're Victor Oladipo and you want to go live in Miami and not live in Milwaukee, is that enough? I don't know.
But do you take so say if Milwaukee is going to say, we'll give you 3 years, 50, 60 million, right? And the Heat say, we'll give you 3 years, 35. Right? Is it worth that?
Well, I don't think either one of those things are going to come to. I don't know if either one of those are going to come into play right away. I don't know if they trade for him. I don't think they're going to probably try and sign him until they know Giannis. If in this, let's just say in this case, Giannis doesn't sign the extension. I don't think they're going to lock themselves. Well, he's under a contract for a year anyway.
I know, but here's the game I'm saying these NBA teams can't play. You can't play the game of when you sign, we'll do this. You got to do it now. You got to show that you're willing to do what it takes now.
But here's what I would say to that. I would say if you're Victor Oladipo, I guess if they max him out, maybe that's all he wants is just to get maxed out. But I think if you're Victor Oladipo and you don't want to be in Milwaukee the rest of your career, you're probably thinking to yourself, all right, let's see how this works for the year. Let's see if me and Giannis playing together works well. And then when I'm a free agent, maybe you re-up and see how good it goes.
You're all right. All right. By the way, somebody sent a text.
Sure.
Ibaka is 31 years old, Leroy.
Hey, don't do that. That could be the big piece this year.
Hey, even if he's the missing piece, I ain't buying he's 31.
So let me get this straight. If the Heat signed Serge Ibaka to the free agency and we get to talk to him at media day, are you only going to be sizing him up for age? Are you going to be asking?
I'm going to ask him.
You're going to be asking him.
I'm going to ask him. I graduated in '86. How was it when you graduated in like '92?
You're going to be asking him '80s trivia.
Yeah, '80s trivia. How about that '90s hip hop?
You certainly have a lot of knowledge of Hall & Oates, Serge.
Flock of seagulls. That's my jam. I think the funniest, most uncomfortable situation was when Dan said, I thought your full name was like 13. He said, no, Serge.
It's gonna be like when we exposed Brian Flores as a degenerate. It's like, whoa.
I don't know about all that spread stuff.
over unders.
You think, Serge, like, here's what I like. I'm a big fan of the Heat getting more size, but still being able to do some of the things the other guys could do. So I don't know if I trust Serge shooting the three, but he has shot the three.
Yeah, he's been good at it.
But I do love his defense.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get another guy that can play that perimeter or play that zone, on the wing, that's going to help you a lot more than just say if you just go get a pure scorer because of how the Heat play. Because they're defense first. They got shooters. But a lot of situations they got, and they had to put those shooters in, and they couldn't play a lick of defense.
Yeah, and if you could add a year if you could add another guy like who's not going to get played off the floor that just complements Bam, which would be another big who can shoot.
Right.
It's a match made in heaven.
I think the most important thing that the Heat will do this upcoming offseason is get Bam to face the damn goal and make him more of an offensive weapon. I think he has to take the same steps that Serge took and Ibaka took, which means expand.
Serge and Ibaka? Serge and Ibaka?
Ibaka and Siakam, right? That they have to expand their offensive game now.
Yeah,
the defense is there.
Siakam's offensive game in the playoffs was
horrible.
Rough.
It was horrible, but that's. I mean,
I don't even think it's and I don't even know if it's a question of developing the skill because I feel like we saw that mid-range jumper.
It looks so good.
It looks good. I think it's a question of just him getting just a level of confidence and aggression and when to know. We saw some of it in the Eastern Conference Finals just because it was so obvious the size advantage he had. Right. But there needs to be those times where he knows how to go beat certain bigs off with speed and stuff like that. Now, look, you're going up against a guy like Anthony Davis and you're banged up. Good luck. I mean, like that's
a unicorn.
That's a unicorn.
So let's not set what you're gonna do based on a unicorn because you're not gonna find that.
And don't
guy.
put a hard cap on him like he can't get better because he's struggling against.
But I would definitely like to see more offense out of Bam. And it's not like the team scored plenty of points, but Bam being more offensive does what for Tyler? For what for Duncan? What for Tyler? You see what I mean?
Yeah, it unlocks
him being more offensive does a lot more for those guys to get open threes. Or, for example, if he's a threat to shoot that elbow jumper all the time, now you got a cutting Jimmy. Now you have somebody else cutting, and he's an excellent passer. But without the threat of him shooting, they just sag back off of him. And the 5 times that he shoots that elbow jumper, they deal with it.
Yeah, they deal with it and if he makes it twice.
Right. So what?
You know.
So what? So,
No, I don't disagree with you.
So that's, I think, going into next year, whenever the hell that starts.
Whenever who knows?
I think that's going to be one of the biggest things that I'm going to look for. You know, I'm going to look for that progression into more of an offensive. Because guess what? He can already take the ball down and take somebody off the dribble.
Somebody goes, just how old is Serge? Do we know? I mean, I guess
we don't know.
We don't know. I mean, he claims that he's 31.
31. No, that's the NBA numbers. Serge is in the same place as those baseball players.
You think he's basketball Pujols?
Oh yeah, Pujols is 47. I'm telling you, there's no way. I mean, he could barely lift that bat going up to the plate. He's got one more year.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Right, that ought to be fun.
Like what, 40 million or like almost 40 million that last year?
He passed Willie Mays this year.
No. Look, dude. Now,
Compiler?
No. It's hard to compile in baseball, dude.
I mean, some people say Ripken did it.
It's hard to
Biggio.
compile. It's hard to compile
hit by pitches.
Simply because you can't change your game. It's all about hitting the baseball. There's nothing that you can do to kind of. You can maybe stop hitting home runs, but Pujols can't do that.
He's got one more year at 30 million flat.
He ain't gonna leg out no singles.
And his listed age is 40.
47. I'm telling you. He is 47. Him and Serge went to high school together.
Another texter writes in, if Giannis doesn't sign the extension, I bet Bam would also wait. # Heat Dreams.
Hey, man.
Did it?
They're in different. Here, let's be clear about this. Bam.
Bring me my money.
Bam is in a different place than all these other guys you're talking about.
Yeah, 'cause
although
he's-
you're trying to treat them as the same, those guys have already had that one big contract.
Yeah, he's on his rookie deal.
He's on his rookie deal. So he trying to get paid. And he ain't going to care about salary cap. He ain't going to care about, and he shouldn't. It is unfair to ask this man to be a team player when he's never gotten that payday yet. Stop it with that.
I mean, in a way too, it'll be interesting because I think the Heat will probably have, because I'm sure Riley is trying to chirp into Bam's agent, who is also Giannis's agent, on what Giannis is going to do.
If you don't do right by Bam, what are the chances you getting Giannis?
I don't know.
You know.
I don't know. Like if
You know if they boys.
we don't know that they're boys. We don't know that. We know that they thought.
Oh, now
about
you don't know. Just
no.
the
I'm just letting you.
I'm
just
get
letting you know what they are. Like I don't want you to. I don't want you to.
What if you said all during that series? You know whose boys? They have the same agent.
They have the same agent, and that there's
You
been
didn't
talks
say
they
they
wanted
were
to work
boys.
out. I said that there was talks that they wanted to work out together, and Giannis doesn't like to work out with people, so that's piquing interest. But if that is the case, that this is the finagling they have to do. Now it's never been done with a guy on it's not. The Heat haven't been in the situation where they've asked a guy on a rookie deal to do it. When Dwayne, LeBron, and Chris finagled it, they already had a contract under their belt.
Right.
But if he wants to play with Giannis, that's gonna be how they have to do it. That's
who's going to be the guy to go talk to Bam and tell Bam?
I'm sure Riley's going to tell him. It's not why don't you wait? Why don't you wait? Will you sign this? Well, you sign this piece of paper in now or in 12 months? Because the money is going to be the same this year.
Okay. Right.
That's who has the conversation. Riley does.
Come on, man. Do you want to reenact that?
Why do you get like what? Like, look, you're asking me who has that conversation. I'm telling you who has the conversation.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
But I get it. We're in a day and age in the NBA where the players have a lot of power, feelings get hurt, and I do think.
Suck.
And I think
it's suck when Bam hangs up on the golf.
I agree. This is a different day and age. This ain't the same. Like,
No, what do you mean it ain't the same? It is the same. Nobody's waiting on their first contract.
It's not the
their
same.
First contract.
It's not the same, Leroy. It's not the same that it was back before the Heat got the big three, where guys didn't leave. Guys always stayed, and they always usually took the extra money and all that type of stuff. Now you're in a day where you do have to be conscious of guys' feelings. I'm agreeing with you.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying that it hasn't changed. Basketball has been the same, that every time a guy was up for his first contract, he expected to get paid. That has never changed. Now it's the second contract where, okay, I got my money. Now I want to try to finagle and work with the team so I can get the players that I want to play with. But not at this juncture. This has never changed. The guy earned his money. It's his first contract. He wants to get paid.
I get you. But I will also say, if he does want to play with a guy like Giannis, the difference is just him having it on paper that he's going to get his money next year, because the salary of this season.
You can't do that.
I know.
You can't put it on paper.
The salary doesn't change this year. He's going to make $5 million regardless.
Right.
It's just a matter.
I see what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
But I get you. Like, look, if you're Bam and you had the year you had and you gentlemen swept his ass, you're like, psh, I get you. If I were Bam, I'd be like, hey, you see those? You see that over there? Riley goes, yeah. He goes, those are some jagged rocks. He goes, yeah, go kick them.
Yep. Especially when all the talk all year has been, Bam, you can get your first contract. Bam, you can get your first extension. Bam, you can get your first extension. And then the team comes to you and says, hey, we want to get Giannis, and we want you guys to play together. How's about you wait?
I got this paper here. Just wait skis. Samesies. You think Riley pulls a samesies on him?
Nope.
We'll take a break. We're back after this.